me, the chemtrails were a terrible thing from the very beginning. They were brought into my awareness by my father, who noticed what was going on in the sky, and then a girlfriend. So I saw them, and I didn't want to believe what was happening. I didn't want to believe that something that evil could exist. And my girlfriend kept putting it in front of me, and I kept denying it. I said, that's just not possible. Nothing that evil could happen. And I went for quite a while lying to myself. And I think that that's a normal thing now, from the perspective I've been 3 or 4 years, at least, in awareness of the fact that this is happening and that we are being sprayed like bugs. And it was very hard on me, as it is a lot of people. My first response, of course, was denial, and then I researched and just tried to find some reason for it, something that made sense. But it really was the event that opened the door to me to look really hard at everything else came tumbling down right afterwards. 9/11 and all the other supposed conspiracy things, and I realized the world was not what I thought it was. But unfortunately, what it also did is it sent me into a tailspin for a while. I didn't feel safe. I went back to feeling like a victim, and I do not like that feeling. I'm familiar with it from when I went through the supposed abductions, and it's not a comfortable place at all. A long time, every time I would see that spraying, I would go into that victim mode, and I couldn't stop myself. And I kept praying and asking for guidance on how should I deal with this, and what is this all about? What does it mean? I knew it had to have a higher meaning. Everything does. I trust in that now. I trust that we're not able to be victims. So I knew when I was being rational that we couldn't be victims. So then I would say to my guides, so then what does it mean? What is this about? And I wrote to some spiritual teachers and I asked them, and I knew I just had to find the answer. And one day I got the answer, and it was interesting. I walk every day, I walk several miles, and so I went out to the trail where I was going to walk, and it was just such a joke because I got to the trail and I could go to the south or I could go to the north. The road, park here, and the trail crosses the road, and I could jump on either way. And I looked and I said, well, I'm going to go north because to the south the sky was covered with chemtrails. And I'm like, I'm walking north where I don't have to look at them and I don't have them overhead. So as soon as I started walking north on the trail, here comes a jet. It's almost ridiculous. When I'm given a lesson to learn, it's like it's very obvious because I always say, make it clear to me. And they were making it clear, and because this jet came ridiculously low, and it flew right over my head, and it flew right over the trail, and it followed even the curve in the trail. It was just right above the trail. It just started and ended as far as I was going to walk, because I'd walk up a couple miles and walk back again. And it was right over that trail. And I stood there and I was like, really? Really? Okay, this is clearly my angels or my guides. They want me to understand, what is this? And I'm like, I'm creating this. I'm creating this. This is an illusion. Anything that's not of love is an illusion. Course in Miracles teaches that. And I believe it. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, okay, so this is not real. This is part of the illusion. This is energy that's being played out. The world of duality is falling away as we ascend into the higher frequencies. So we're going to ascend beyond this horrible, horrific thing. But what does that tell me? What does that mean? So I went for my walk as much as I could. I didn't go very far. I turned around, I got in my car, came back home, did my Course in Miracles reading for the morning, and did a prayer and meditation, and went quite deeply into that. And when I came out of the meditation, I opened my eyes, and that's another thing that was weird. I did it in my study, which I never do my meditation in there, in my office. But I was in there for some reason, and when I opened my eyes, I looked out the window to the east, and there were 2 jets flying right toward my house, both of them spewing out chemtrails. But I was in such a state, I was in a very high frequency, I would say. And I just looked at it and I saw it for what it was. And it was a gift because I saw it as just an illusion, just energy being played out. And I stood up and I just closed my eyes and I pictured the pilot and I pictured whoever it was who decided that they pulled the trigger, they gave the go-ahead that this needed to happen. And so I just envisioned those people and I just sent love to them and to the pilot. And I just saw them as innocent and I saw it for the truth of what it was. And I just extended love from my heart to them and said, it's fine, you're playing your role and I'm playing my role, and it's not real, and I see that and I understand that. And when I opened my eyes, I opened just in time to see the whole chemtrail disappear all the way out for several miles. And it was interesting because the jet kept on flying and no more spray was coming out, and right behind it the trail was all gone except for way, way back. And I was shocked by that, but it seemed natural, it seemed like perfect. And I kind of got emotional and I started to cry a little bit, but I turned my attention to the other jet, which was now closer, and it was coming right toward me and it was veering off, so I was able to see it come and turn off to the north. And so I turned and looked out the other window, and I did the same thing, extended love to the pilot, and opened my eyes. And this time, as soon as I opened my eyes, the chemtrail disappeared all the way back, as far back as you could see. And I just felt such gratitude. I felt like this is it. This is the answer. I understand what's happening here. This is an illusion. It's just energy. We just need to be heart-centered. And our role is to forgive this and to allow it to just be what it is, which is nothing more than a disbursement of energy. And it's our job to see it for the truth of what it is. And it's actually an aid in our ascension process. So I couldn't wait for another jet. I called my girlfriend and I talked to her and we shared stories about it, and I couldn't wait for the next jet to come flying over. And I watched and I finally saw one coming. It was real close to the house and real low. So I had to run outside in order to see it because it was right on me. So I ran out on my back patio and was looking up at it, had my head tilted back, looking almost straight up as it flew right overhead. And I did the same thing. I just extended love to it and saw it for what it was. And I opened my eyes to see it, and this time, and it was low and the jet sound was right there, and it gone. The jet and the jet stream, the chemtrail, gone. I got scared. I admit, I got scared. It was shocking to me. I was like, the jet was gone, and I ran around the tree that was there, and I ran around and I ran up on the hill a little bit, and I'm like, the jet is gone. It was one thing when it was the chemtrails. It was another when the whole jet was gone. That was shocking to me. And it was so eerie. It was just scary. The sound of it, it was just gone. And I ran in the house. I got scared. I thought, the controllers are going to come and they're going to bomb my house. I'm going to open my door and have a visit from the men in black like I had before. And so I came in the house and then I calmed down and I'm like, okay, what really happened? I didn't do anything to the jet and the chemtrail except raise my vibration above it. I raised my vibration by being heart-centered, by seeing it for what it is, and it's on another timeline, it's in another dimension here, and I'm here. That's what's happening. That's the secret to the chemtrail. And I got very excited. I didn't know what I was going to do with the information. And I continued to do that. It doesn't happen easily for me to do the chemtrails. I have to definitely be heart-centered. And that means you have to be in a high vibrational state of mind. And that's not always easy to do in this world where there's all these distractions and things are happening. And as we know, it's hard. But the chemtrails, it's my guys, that lesson was given to me, and I've been pushed to do this video to talk about it. I didn't want to do this video, as you know. I didn't want to. Who am I to sit here and tell the world, what this is all about? But I'm going to do it because I've learned to trust in the information I get from my guys. So I am sitting here, and those who are ready to hear it and want to accept it, that's fine. And those who don't, that's fine too. That's how I am about everything that I say. well, who am I and what do I know? I just know that my experiences with my guys have been very precise, and everything they've taught me has served me well. And so here I am talking about it, and I believe that the chemtrails can be used against the controllers, the very ones who are putting them out there, spraying us like we're bugs, trying to exterminate us and make us sick, hold us back on our ascension. It would take very small percentage of us to awaken enough to this level to where every time we see the chemtrails, it is a trigger for us to remember the truth of who we are. And instead of triggering fear and the mentality of victim in us, we go, that's just the old world of duality falling away. That's just energy that needs to be released. And I can release a huge chunk of that negative energy by extending love and seeing the truth of what's happening here. It's just energy playing out in the old world of duality. Our job is to love those who played the role of the negative in a world of duality. After all, we chose to come in here and live in a world of duality. You can't have a world of duality if you don't have the negative and the positive. So you see the truth of what it is, and you extend love and gratitude to them for playing that part. Just like as we release our ego, and as we move into the higher frequencies, we do that by just saying, you served your part, your role, and now I don't have need of it anymore, and I just am going to stand here in love and be in the love and the light that I am. And so that's what my guys wanted me to say, is just use the chemtrails as a positive thing instead of as a negative thing. Let's change the energy around it, and it's just gone. We raise our vibration, we go beyond it, and it is no more. So that's what I had to say about it, and that's it. Okay? Thank you.